GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
What's up, rockers? This is the rockstar Robbie Vegas, professional wrestler and host of the All Bets Are Off podcast. But right now, you're listening to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. So take it away, Chazz.
Hey, everything on three. Number three. 1 on 1. Oh, 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Put it. I am mixed up in that. Eyes on three. Everything on 3 and 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast.
So smoky. I was talking about that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back in to the Fantasy Football Bros podcast, episode 3. Jay, we made it all the way to episode 3.
All the way.
Dude, all the way. And you only got in trouble from the wife like 5 times.
So far, 5 times.
So far, 5 times. So that's not even 2 an episode. Wait, well, it's only actually been 2 episodes. So it's more than 2 an episode, bro. That's all right. We'll do better. Mrs. Coleman will do better. We promise. We need to let everyone know that she's a big Steelers fan.
Yeah.
And she was
huge Steelers fan. And if I ever bring up the Steelers, I have to bring up the wife, apparently.
Is that their name? Mrs. Coleman's favorite? The Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's fine. And she's just as much as this podcast as you are, because that's where you get all your advice from.
Allegedly.
There's no proof. Have you ever won a fantasy league prior to being married?
No.
Okay, so there it is. You won the fantasy league in 2020, right?
Yes.
And when did you get married? What year?
Which time?
What was the first time you got married?
2020.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Mrs. Coleman, here we go. So there's that.
We got married like 3 times, and I've only won once, so...
I would divorce you too, bro. Jay's not divorced. He had one of those I almost had one of those Coleman weddings. You did have one of those.
Yes.
But he had one of those COVID weddings where we had to do it twice.
Yes.
So nice we did it twice, and it was fun. And I'm waiting for the next one.
It'll probably be soon.
Yeah, let's do it soon.
Gonna do one every year.
Well, you're getting late, bro. It's June. It's June already, dude. All right. June. Not a lot of football news right now, except your favorite quarterback in the NFL, Deshaun Watson.
Your favorite quarterback?
Up till 24 cases now. We're not going to get into specific details other than I told you what his lawyer said last week about hand jobs or happy endings not being illegal, which I still don't believe. I still don't believe that's true, Mr. Deshaun Watson's lawyer. But that's 2 new cases since the other 22 were settled out of court. That's not good. Because that brings up all new investigations now.
And he decided to go private on social media, so...
Well, because everyone like us is trolling and talking shit.
Yeah, but they were doing that the last 22 things, so I changed now.
This is not looking good for him. And I saw a great tweet. I wish I could quote who it was from, but I didn't write it down or screenshot it. Write it down.
You don't write things down. 45. It's like you don't do research for this podcast.
What did I hire you for?
To do research,
exactly.
Apparently.
That's why you're hired. But I saw this funny tweet, and it made sense. He said, the Cleveland Browns, not having a franchise quarterback for years and finally getting one and shuffling him out to trade for a quarterback that may never play for you ever again because he's a sexual predator is the most Browns thing possible.
Very true.
That's totally true.
You know what tops that?
What's that?
Look on the bright side. If they have to cut him, it's only like $200 million in dead cap space. So.
I would assume. Now, there was a rumor I read that Houston was providing hotel rooms for Deshaun Watson and stuff. Now, to be fair, that doesn't mean Houston knew that Deshaun was, being predatory in these hotel rooms. Maybe they were just a team going like, "Oh, you need a massage? Go ahead. Here's a room. Get a massage." I'm sure Deshaun Watson's not the only player that gets massages in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
So, but if it turns out that Houston knew that this shit was happening, I wonder if somehow that trade could be voidable.
I'm pretty sure they knew because it said they also brought up the NDA, and they said it was through the team that I don't know if it was like the team lawyer or whatever, drew up an NDA when he like first got like the first complaint against him. So
yeah, well, I guess it depends on if they knew while he was doing it or they knew after and then didn't do it again, right? I guess that's like what needs to come out. But I don't know. Deshaun Watson, I always said was overrated, and the dude better not play a down this year, and the dude better not play a down next year. Poor Calvin Ridley's missing the whole year for a $1,500 bet. You're going to take your stance on on women right now, NFL, and sexual predatory things. So it's like
Josh Gordon's career was basically killed because of weed.
Right.
So.
But that was a few years ago. I mean, you're talking now. This is right now. This is 3-4 months after you suspended a guy for gambling. So what's more important to you, a player gambling or somebody abusing 24 women? So you
He was also caught in a huge lie because he had said, I've hired about 40 massage therapists in my 4 or 5 year career, he said. And then it comes out that's 66 in 17 months.
And first of all, have you ever gotten a massage?
Yes.
Okay, I've gotten one massage too in my whole life. Do you go to? I'm sure you went to a chiropractor.
No, when I was in Jamaica, I got a massage.
Okay.
Along the beach.
When I hurt my back and I hurt my neck a little bit, I got a massage. I got a chiropractor. You know what I didn't get? 44 different fucking ones or 66 different ones. That's shady. Because I see a chiropractor, and I'm going to go see him again because he did a good job. If I ever decide to get a massage again, I'll probably go to the woman that did it already because it's comfortable. I know her. I'm not just going to go round and round being like, hey, let me spit in your hand, bitch. Get over here. Like, that. He is gross, bro. That is nasty. I'm sorry. I'm so mad. I hate him. So this is like cherry on top. The Browns are stupid, and I wish we had the podcast when the trade happened, because even without all these allegations, the Browns are stupid. I'm sure you can't argue that.
No. Browns are... I hated them when the trade got announced, so, I mean, it's dumb. And how often does the NFL do anything right? So this is going to be huge. Like, if they fuck this up, then there's going to be a lot of pissed off people.
Well, and if you remember how those trades went down, it was like the Browns are out of it, and then like an hour later, it was like the Browns are back in. Boom, the trade is done. I guarantee you, he just wanted to find the most guaranteed money possible because he knew he was fucked.
Yeah, possibly.
And fuck him.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. Is fuck him.
Let's put it this way too. Roger Goodell got. From the Raiders.
He's got a lot of people. Gruden, right.
Yeah, he got Gruden fired because Gruden called him a fucking pussy. So now he's... So what's he going to do with Watson?
That's demasculation. And we have a lot to see. He better do something. And the fact that these two came out after is... People are underestimating how big this is because of a new investigation.
I don't know how the league hasn't already just... Like, this has been going on for how long now? And there was already 22 cases against him. Now we're up to 24. I don't know how the league hasn't just been like... Because they always do the thing like... Where players were like found not guilty of shit. And they're like, well, you still violated like, you kind of almost got in trouble, which violates our policies. So you're going to be suspended for X amount of games. How have they not already been like, all right, you're suspended 10 games until...
Why not
anything is, or you're suspended this season? Why
not you're suspended indefinitely? Which means you're suspended till we tell you you're not while we investigate.
Yeah, something.
That's what they did for Kareem Hunt, and I know like it was still battery against a woman, but do you remember the Kareem Hunt video? The lady was on the ground. He pushed her with his foot. He didn't like soccer kick her.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I'm not condoning it, but it was so minuscule compared to like Ray Rice.
Yeah.
And Kareem Hunt lost half of the season, and Deshaun Watson is able to play right now. So, crazy, stupid. That's the NFL for you, right?
Yep.
So, this was a long intro. We're going to get into the topic at hand today, coming on from last week, which is the NFC rookie class. We're going to go over, I think last week's went well. It was smooth. I made you do some more research.
Of course. That's what I'm here for, right?
That's why you're hired. That you're the stat guy, I'm the star. That's how this works. And we're going to get right to the NFC draft review, bringing in all the rookies right after this break. And we're back, and by special request from Jay Coleman. Oh, hell yeah. We are manly men, right, Jay?
Sure are.
And what are you drinking right now?
Blueberry peach cider.
And I am drinking a Not Your Father's root beer, so let's hear. Cheers to that, Jay. Ah. I totally stole that from the All Bets Are Off podcast with Robbie Vegas. So, if you don't like us drinking on air, sucks to be you. I had a long day at work today, bro. Okay? So, I deserve this hard beverage, this manly drink. All right. Moving on to the NFC draft review. Now, I said I was looking forward to this one because I feel there's a little more impact players, but you said there's not.
No, not really.
Not really. So, I know it's got some receivers at least we're going to talk about, but we got to start in alphabetical. What is wrong with me? If you guys listened to last week's episode of the All Bets Are Off podcast, I was marble-mouthed, and apparently there's something with alcohol in my mouth lately, and I hope we're not in for a ride, all right? So,
Are those Not Your Father's root beers like 80% alcohol or what?
for the record, they are 5.9. That's more than the thing I was drinking at Robbie's house. I just want to point that out. What is yours, bitch? Yours is probably harder.
6?
Oh, one point higher. Woo! All right. So, in alphabetical order, the first team is the Arizona Cardinals, and they did not have a first-round pick. I don't know why. And I don't care. So, we're going in... Oh, I forgot to say. Their overall draft grade was A-. Okay. Pretty good.
They got your most favorite QB, too.
I don't want you guys to think I think Kyler Murray's like garbage, but he's just not who everyone asks him to be. But with their second round pick, 55 overall, they took Colorado State tight end Trey McBride, and I believe you did some research on him.
That's what I get paid for, isn't it?
That's what you get paid for. That's what all those Viagra ads are for. So what you got for Trey McBride?
He's our kind of tight end. He's a big guy.
Big boy?
6'4", 2-way tight end,
Okay.
and he doesn't have a lot of speed. So he's basically us.
So I have a lot of speed for a big guy, bro. Lots of speed for a big guy. So is he a receiving threat? Because here's the thing. He's already your number 2 because they got Zach Ertz there. So I'm wondering if he's more of a blocking guy.
I think that's probably what they're going to use him mainly for, but I think, he's not going to burn you, obviously. But I think he can catch pretty good. So,
Well, 55 overall is kind of early for a tight end. I mean, and if you got to remember, I don't know the exact time the Bills took Dawson Knox, but it was like 3rd round.
yeah.
So that's kind of middle of the draft, right? So you can get pass-catching tight ends. But to me, it just sounds like even if he is going to be impactful, it is not going to be unless Zach Ertz gets injured, which is fair, could happen.
Yeah.
So you never know. Rounding out the rest of their draft, a defensive end, another defensive end edge rusher, and a running back, oh boy, Keontae Ingram, 201 overall running back from USC. Interesting, because James Conner was overrated as fuck last year. Everybody thinks he was good, but he just scored a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, touchdowns in fantasy football, what are they? They're points. But I don't think he's a good running back. So, I don't know if you have feelings about... You can shit talk him. He's not on the Steelers anymore. Your wife will not make you sleep on the couch, I promise.
That's true. I think he was better in Pittsburgh, but that could just be the system.
It could be the system. I mean, but technically he wasn't. I think he looked better in Pittsburgh, but the dude had like 14 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
And technically he was the second string running back. So maybe the Keontae, and if I'm saying that wrong, Keaontay, Keontae Ingram.
Yeah, if you're saying it wrong, he can come on the podcast and discuss.
And argue with me. But other than that, he could be someone to look into. Then they went offensive guard, defensive back, another edge rusher, and another guard. Trenches. They went in the trenches. So looking at NFL.com's review, this says day 1, B+, even though they had no pick. I still don't understand that.
No.
And they also traded. Oh, maybe that's why. Okay, I'm looking into Arizona. So technically their first round pick was a trade for Hollywood Brown. So that's a good trade. I think Hollywood Brown is a good player, a good speedster player. But the problem is he's went to not the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. But that's his college boy. So
very true.
Interesting to see how that's going to be. Well, we'll move on, and I know. So this is the Atlanta Falcons, who are complete trash.
Yes, sir.
I mean, flaming garbage. Got rid of Matt Ryan, which is good for him to get out of that flaming garbage. Don't have Calvin Ridley anymore. Don't have Julio Jones anymore. They're just looking at Kyle Pitts as their number one star. And former second overall pick Marcus Mariota and 72-year-old running backs / wide receivers and Cordell Patterson. So they need a lot of help.
Yeah.
So they had the 8th overall pick, and they went with USC wide receiver Drake London. For me and my not stats and my not research, watching the tape on this guy was my favorite wide receiver in this draft. He's big, he's fast, he can run routes, he reminds me of and I know it's the same school, it reminds me of Michael Pittman Jr. Hey, he can go up and get the ball, but what about in your deep research?
Who does the research here, okay?
That was just from tape.
You're taking my job from me. And I'm actually going to retract. Well, I'm not really retracting, but on the first episode of this podcast, you were like, oh, who did you like the most? And I said Jamison Williams. But then, doing research, watching tape, because, I'm hardworking for this podcast.
For sure.
Drake London is the guy.
Yeah, he's
He's no doubt the best.
I'm glad you see that too, because there was some debate.
Yeah.
There was some debate of who's the best, and I even said on last week, I don't buy into the Garrett Wilson. And Drake London is the guy. There's nothing. It's hard to compare him. It's hard to say Michael Pittman because he went to the same school, but it's that's what he reminded me of. Michael Pittman's pretty damn good. What do you got for his stats?
He's a big boy, 6'4", yes. Which is what
You're not 6'4".
No. But that's what I would look for in a wide receiver. The 6'4" wide receiver, that's what you want. He's got the elite size. He can be outside slot. So, he's pretty much to do it all.
Yeah. He's that kind of guy who can take over a game. He's going to make Marcus Mariota look better. Marcus Mariota has never had a receiver like this. Marcus Mariota's best receiver ever was Corey Davis. Who I like, but this guy has a chance. This guy is Corey Davis, but the difference is Corey Davis went 5th overall or something and came from Central Michigan. This guy came from USC. That's a different program. This guy was elite at USC. The size, the speed. He is certainly on my radar for fantasy football this year, but Marcus Mariota. So it's not like he's going to be my number 1, 2, or even 3 wide receiver.
Yeah.
So that's I could gush about this guy. And if you want to if I just want to put it into a box right now, I know we talked about how I think Sky Moore could be the number 1 receiver from the rookie class.
Yeah.
Drake London could be that kind of receiver that could do it with any quarterback. It doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball. We saw a little bit of that with Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs was so much better with Josh Allen, but he was putting up numbers with Kirk Cousins too, and he was putting up numbers with Case Keenum before that. So Drake London, I think, could be that kind of guy. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's the number 1 rookie wide receiver this year in fantasy football.
I would agree. He's your game-changing wide receiver, like you said. So he's like the Megatrons type wide receiver.
He's Julio.
Yeah.
Big boy, speed, hopefully a lot more durable. And if they end up... So think about this. If they end up getting back Ridley next year, you got London, Ridley, and Pitts. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary. I know you don't have a quarterback, but that doesn't mean you won't have one next year.
True.
So,
and who knows, Mariota could turn it around, too.
He's a former Heisman winner.
Yeah.
Second overall pick, right? I mean, he's not really known for his big arm, but he's still got the speed. But then they went edge rusher, linebacker, and then 74th overall, they went with Cincinnati quarterback Desmond Ridder, who I know Cincinnati, you don't think of it as a big school, but Cincinnati played outstanding this past couple years. They were like almost in the college, or were they in the college playoffs last year or the year before? I think they were fourth and got murdered by like Georgia or something. Cincinnati, you're not going to keep up with the SEC, but like for that quarterback to be drafted 74th overall to this team with these players, maybe not on my radar this year. Because, well, until Mariota gets hurt, because I think that's a distinct possibility with his running. I mean, Desmond Ridder could be a thing. It's hard for me to say he wasn't my favorite in this draft. It would just kind of seem like, if you're going on Madden ratings, like, you'd be like a 77, like on a Madden rating, just like, that's fine. You could win with that guy.
Yeah.
But he's not going to take over the league. That's my pick on him. We went edge rusher. Then we went running back from BYU, Tyler Algier. He could be something in this offense. All they have is Cordarrelle Patterson, who is 32 years old and never played running back until last year and was complete trash the end of the season. So that's a name to put on everyone's radar just because pretty sure he's a big boy. But coming into this offense, like, they're going to need to do something.
Yeah.
He's going to need to throw the ball somewhere, and Mariota does not like to push it too much.
No. And like you said, he doesn't got a big arm, so he's not going to be throwing bombs down the field.
And he's got the big boys with Drake London and Pitts. Man, this is going to be a scary team. If Desmond Ridder's anything, but there's supposed to be a big quarterback class next year, and don't forget of free agents.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, like, if you put your boy Kirk Cousins on this team right now, they could fight for this division.
They could always trade for Baker Mayfield.
Or Baker Mayfield's out there. I mean, there's probably not many people out there now, but next year is when they're going to make a move. Maybe they trade back for Matt Ryan. I wish Matt Ryan was in this offense right now. Like, seriously.
Yeah, Drake London would definitely be up on the fantasy draft board if Matt Ryan was his QB.
100%. And just look at, like, I know we had a down year from Calvin Ridley last year because of his mental issues, but the year before, the man was insane. He was outstanding in 2020. So their overall draft grade was a B+. Looks like they filled a lot of holes that they needed to do, which my joke before is I do the same thing. And we'll just move on to the A- Carolina Panthers. These boys need a lot of work.
It's an understatement.
And they only had 2 picks. They had 3 picks in the top 120 only, but only 2 picks in the top 94. So you're not going to get a lot of done there. But for them to have what they had and still hit an A-, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, their first 6th overall pick, NC State offensive tackle. Go ahead.
That's all you.
What do you mean?
You're the host of the show.
But you're the research. You didn't look up the phonetic. Yeah. Ike Okwanu from NC State, North Carolina State. Offensive tackle, 6th overall. Who knows? We've never claimed to be offensive line juggernauts here.
We look like offensive
even though that's
linemen.
what we should have paled probably, but we're divas and we always want to play receiver, running backs. I'm sure they need offensive tackle help. You're going into the season with Sam Darnold and maybe Cam Newton at some point again, or maybe Baker Mayfield, right? So, Sam Darnold gets a lot of flack. I don't think he's great, but, like, I think he's fine. Like, okay, Sam Darnold. True story, though. Sam Darnold got hurt last year. When he went out, did you realize he was leading the league in rushing touchdowns?
No, I didn't.
When Sam Darnold went out, like, week 5, he had, like, 6 rushing touchdowns, leading the league. So, bringing in a tackle there, great. Now, 94th overall, they went with Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral. Golden Corral they went with. This guy was my favorite guy in the draft. Because he's just that, like, dual threat, big-armed, wild horse, Josh Allen, Trey Lance kind of guy. This is that guy. No way am I saying he's Josh Allen. But he's that pedigree. He's that project. And you took him 94th overall. So that's your project player.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes in this year, gets his ass kicked a little bit, learns, and gets better. Hey, that's what happened to Josh Allen. Trey Lance this year, we'll see what happens with him. These guys are all kind of built in the same. Did you know anything about Matt Corral, Golden Corral, coming into this?
No.
He was the guy that I liked the most, and everyone said this was a shitty draft for quarterbacks, and pretty much it was. I think Matt Corral will be successful in the NFL. That doesn't mean Pro Bowler. Somebody like Ryan Fitzpatrick, recently retired, is a successful NFL player, right? So I think there's room for him. I mean, Marcus Mariota's still in the league, starting this year, from a second overall pick bust, right? So I think he can be on that kind of trajectory. But then the rest of their draft, linebacker, edge rusher, guard, cornerback. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey. That's all you need to worry about. And it looks like they took a guard and a tackle, so I'm sure he's happy about that. And he should be.
If Drew Lock can be a QB in this league, then pretty much anyone
You
can be.
love Drew Lock. We both took a drink there.
I love Drew Lock like you love Kyler Murray.
Oh, boy. All right. We're moving on to Jay's second favorite team in the league. Your boys, the Chicago Bears. Did I say Chicago?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I think I said Chicago. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Is that fitting?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They suck.
Chicago Bears, they suck.
They're trash.
They suck. They had no first-round pick. I believe that's involved in the trade to move up to get Justin Fields, who I think is trash.
Agreed.
I think that was a bad move for them. But maybe Justin Fields is better than every quarterback in this draft, but I don't know. But they also got rid of the coach, which is completely needed to happen. Matt Nagy's gone. But what do they have, man?
Not much.
Robinson's gone.
And they're such a dumpster fire that had to cancel their last practice for violating fucking NFL rules. So
I didn't even know that.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they had to cancel their last practice because they violated the what is it, like non-contact fucking whatever. So that the NFL made them cancel their last practice.
Oh my god, that's your team? That's the team you root for other than the Bills? Or is that in the past? Are you over that?
They're so bad that I'm over it.
You're just embarrassed? Mm-hmm. Okay, so looking at their... they need everything. Their draft grade from NFL.com was A-. They had a lot of picks, but they have a lot of weaknesses. So, 39th overall, they took cornerback Kyler Gordon. His name is Kyler. I don't like him.
Yeah.
So
you got to think for Kyler.
Yeah, no, Kylers are gone. And Kyles.
Yeah.
Kylers and Kyles. And then, 48th overall, they take a safety, Jaquan Brisker. I don't like him either.
No.
I don't know why. Brisker. Just go Brisket and feel better. Okay, but then Tennessee wide receiver Velus Jones at 71 overall. I don't have much on him. I don't know. I don't think you did a scouting report. All I know is he's on my radar because what the fuck is there to throw to?
Nobody.
Darnell Mooney, right? I think that's it. So he is on my radar. He's definitely on my radar. Tennessee receivers sometimes, I believe Cordarrelle Patterson was a Tennessee receiver. But we haven't really had they're usually athletic guys, big athletic dudes. So he's on my radar just for the simple fact that he's a rookie. He's a top 71 pick, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. So he's got to be on your radar. We went offensive tackle, edge rusher, offensive guard, running back, 203rd overall from Baylor, Treston Ebner, on my radar. Because you got David Montgomery, who is just even more boring of a running back than Joe Mixon.
Shut your mouth.
He is more of a boring running back than Joe Mixon. So he's got to be in line for something. Because Montgomery does not catch the ball. He's not explosive. He's just a good running back. Montgomery's a fine running back, but to get some excitement, I hope that's their guy. Baylor usually has exciting players, right? That's why he's on my radar, but I don't think he's on a radar to be drafted. Jones, the receiver, could be drafted.
Maybe, but it's also...
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think Ebner's the kind of guy that you're going to draft injury, free agency pickup, or unless you drafted Montgomery and you're just handcuffing him. But other than that, don't put him on your radar like that. Figured it out, or fill out the rest with a center, a guard, a defensive back, and a punter. But his name is not Punt God, so I don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter. A lot of offensive line help there. A running back, a receiver. Good for them. A- grade. We'll have to see where it goes, but they're a major dumpster fire, bro. No offense.
I agree. They're as embarrassing as fucking Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, this is the wrong podcast.
Whatever. I'm a hockey guy too, but...
All right, moving on to Jay's actual favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
That's your favorite team, I believe?
Fuck them. Dallas Cowboys, first round pick, 24th overall, offensive tackle, Tyler Smith. That's a very Cowboys pick. They always pick linemen. They always seem to do good. So that can only help Dak. That could only help Zeke. That could only help Tony Pollard, unless the guy's a complete waste. So I don't think it was a bad pick. Defensive end. Then we went wide receiver Jalen Tolbert, who I heard making some noise. Is a South Alabama guy, speed guy, right? Is he on the radar? I mean, right now he's walking into being the third, maybe the fourth, but the third behind C.D. Lamb, and I believe they re-signed Michael Gallup.
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure they got C.D. Lamb, Michael Gallup, and now they've got Jalen Tolbert. So that's a passing offense sometimes, or sometimes they're running offense. I don't know what to say about them going into them. I mean, we're going to get more into like team-by-team breakdown at some point. But is he on your radar? South Alabama wide receiver Jalen Tolbert?
No, because I think we talked about this. I don't fucking draft Cowboys players.
So you're not going to be here for the NFC East breakdown show?
No.
Or you're just going to step outside? You're going to go play with pickles?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to be talking about the Cowboys. You're going to hear ting-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling in the background. You're just going to... I'll be like, Jay, where are you?
Yep.
No. That was good.
That's my protest, yeah.
That was smooth, wasn't it? Well, we don't like to talk about the Cowboys. Their draft grade was a B, which really isn't that good. Because there's been a lot of A's, A-minuses. So, really not that good. And I know what Jay's thinking. I'll just say the words, fuck the Cowboys.
Yes.
Okay, fuck the Cowboys. Moving on to the team that got the best player in the whole draft because...
They might have arguably probably had maybe the best draft for the NFC.
I don't know if they had the best draft in the NFC, but I think they had the best first round of any team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because they pulled in the best player in the draft. I'm sorry. We're talking about the Detroit Lions. What?
Yes.
Oh my God, did I just say that? Well, because Tony Khan and Shad Khan and the Jacksonville because Tony Khan, Shad Khan, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are a bunch of idiots and losers and not pick the best player available, Detroit got homegrown boy, Michigan edge rusher, Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 overall, who's been the best rated defensive lineman, defensive player since Myles Garrett, who's pretty damn good. They got to steal. They got to steal at number 2 overall. Everybody had him being the best player on the draft, and they got so lucky. Usually Detroit makes the bonehead pick.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Tony Khan
and Trent Baalke are fucking running the show.
Trent Baalke, right? Thankfully, those guys snuck in front of him for that because they didn't get to mess it up.
They pulled Hold My Beer.
That's perfect. That is the meme. That is the perfect meme. But also, they traded up. They were also picking 32nd overall because of the Jared Goff trade, or the Matt Stafford trade, because they got the 2 first-round picks. And then they used those picks to trade up to get Jameson Williams, Alabama wide receiver, who could have very well be the best receiver in this draft. We like Drake London, but we like the big meaty boys. This guy's a little more shifty speed guy. This guy single-handedly carried Alabama. And he got hurt in the national championship game. That's the thing. That's January.
Yeah.
He's not going to be ready.
No. Not especially it's the ACL, so...
He'll be ready... Thanksgiving time, maybe? And, I mean, we can't talk about Aiden Hutchinson. Detroit's defense is not on your radar. Jameson Williams better be on your radar come Halloween.
Yeah.
If you want to draft him and hang on to him, maybe your draft's got an IR spot. Okay, do it. But get him on your team come Halloween if it seems like everything's going. Because this guy... Here's a guy. That was my Madden. Was that all right? No, never.
It was okay.
But he's a guy who's his quarterback right now. Jared Goff, right? Who can throw down the field but doesn't like to. They've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They don't got, I mean, everybody likes him. I don't. This is that kind of guy you can throw the screen to, the quick slants to, and he can take it to the house and make people miss. What is your scouting report on him?
So 6'1", so I mean he's good size.
A decent size. That's bigger than I expected.
Yeah. Good separation. His comparables was Will Fuller.
Oh,
he's also
Will Fuller's one of the fastest wide receivers in the league.
This is where this leads in. How many touchdowns do you think he had that were 30-plus yards?
30-plus yard touchdowns? Oh, my goodness. I'm going to say 8?
11.
I mean, that shows you.
Insane.
That shows you this guy. I mean, we were saying, I mean, Will Fuller is top 5 speed wide receiver in the NFL. So if that's your comparison, I mean, everyone wants to talk Tyreek Hill. He's a little freak. He's different.
Yeah.
Will Fuller can be fast enough to be the fastest player on the field.
Yeah.
So if that's where this guy is, you don't need... So just because it's a 35-yard plus touchdown doesn't mean you have to launch the ball 35 yards. You can launch the ball -3 yards. And the guy takes it 35 yards to the house. And those are touchdowns. That's not plays.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, this guy's very dynamic. And I think he went into the right fit. I think he could have been a great fit anywhere. He's one of those guys. Where Drake London kind of needs the right system. I mean, it's not a system receiver. He could be good anywhere. But Jameson Williams is the kind of guy that, like, you just want me to burn people? Gotcha.
Yeah.
You want me to catch a screen pass? Gotcha. You want me to run a slant? Gotcha. That's all he needs. But I think he's better than that.
Yeah.
I think if he didn't tear his ACL, he would have went before Drake London. He would have went top 5.
Probably.
I honestly feel that way. I was surprised he went 12th overall, and they traded up big time to get him because they went up from 32 to 12th. That's 20 spots. Let's see what they says. Let's see what the analysis on this website from NFL.com says. It's possible that the Lions got the best defender available this year in Hutchinson and the best receiver in the draft at number 12. Picking the talented pass catcher was a bit of a risk given the draft capital they parted with and the fact that he's coming off an ACL tear. His talent could make the trade look like a shrewd one. However, Pascal and Joseph were solid picks who could contribute right away. So that's talking about people later in the draft. Sorry.
Where the fuck is NFL coming up with these ratings? Because how do you get Hutchinson and Williams, and your day one grade is A-?
No,
There's teams that didn't even have a fucking draft pick in the first round, and they got an A rated.
You're right. You're totally right.
This is like an A+++.
The only thing, I guess, is because who knows with Williams because he's hurt. But, I mean, torn ACL, your career's not over like it was back in the day. It's been a good 10 years. That 2012 season when Adrian Peterson was coming off the torn ACL and ran for 2,000 yards. That was 10 years ago, and the guy did that. So, like, medical advancements and everything since then, there's no need to worry. It seems like now the scarier injury is an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
More than an ACL. So, home run pick. He better be on everyone's radar at some point. We'll move on. Oh, boy. Oh, we get to talk about the team that I shit on the most. Well, no. I guess the player I shit on the most. In the Green Bay Packers. Fucking Aaron Rodgers, man. I can't with him. Anyway. All right. So, they have 2 first-round picks, and all the NFL fans, all the Packers fans, all the Aaron Rodgers simps are out there crying like, oh, they need to draft a first-round wide receiver. Oh, my God, they need to draft a first-round. They've got 2 picks. They need to draft a first-round wide receiver. And they take a linebacker and defensive tackle. And they're crying about it. But here's the thing. They took Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt from Georgia. The defensive line in Georgia is insane. They willed this team to a national championship, beat Alabama. Who beats Alabama? My cat is picky today. Did she scratch you?
A little bit.
Pickles, do you want to be on the podcast? Talk. They willed that team to a national championship. So stop crying about it because 34th overall, which is just 2 picks after the first round, they took North Dakota State. North Dakota State. God damn it. North Dakota State wide receiver, Christian Watson. Okay, you got a receiver, y'all. Finally. This is a guy that had to put up with a lot of Trey Lance's not so accurate passes and stuff. And I still like Trey Lance. He's 6'4" guy, 208 pounds. I mean,
He's our kind of wide receiver.
yeah, I mean, he could be a little bit like meatier, like weight wise, but did you do any specific research on him? He's stepping into the number 1 or 2 role.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%. Yeah,
He needs to be on a team. He needs to be on fantasy rosters. He needs to be on teams. I haven't done my rankings yet, but I mean 9, 10, 11 round, somewhere around there. He's got to be your. She scratched you good, didn't she? Jay's crying over here, guys. My cat just fucked him up. Well, don't be such a bitch to her.
I guess so.
She just tried to jump on you and love you. That's all she did.
She likes me more than you.
She hasn't paid any attention to me. Now her fat ass is eating over there. I mean, he's got to be on your radar, right, Jay?
Yeah.
He's just, like we talked about with Aaron Jones a couple weeks ago. What does Aaron Rodgers have? Nothing.
Which is why they probably drafted 3 wide receivers.
Well, that's what we're going to get to because just, 100 picks later. Wow, I didn't realize it was that far. But 100 picks later, they take Nevada wide receiver Romeo Doubs, who is a receiver who is still comparable, 6'2", 201 pounds. This guy's a speedster from what I remember. So, is he on your radar? Yeah, he better be on your radar. Because Aaron Rodgers has got nothing. But the problem is Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't really trust rookies all the time. For instance, Devontae Adams' first good season was like 2016 or 17. He was drafted in 2014. So it takes a little time. So yeah. I don't completely buy in.
He's a picky little bitch.
He's a picky little bitch. Oh, why do we hate Aaron Rodgers so much?
Because he's a fucking asshole.
He is an asshole, and he's just got stupid hair. And I don't know. Are you going to scratch him again? What is with you today, Pickles? I don't know. Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe she likes Aaron Rodgers and scratch me because we're talking shit.
Ooh, are you a fan of the discount double check, Pickles? No, she's a Josh Allen cat. I don't know. I just want to move on because I'm just going to get into a big diatribe about Aaron Rodgers. Is there anything you want to say about these receivers?
No.
Just put them on your radar, folks. That's all I got to say about them. So we're going to move into the next NFC team on this list, alphabetical order, which is taking me forever to find. Holy shit. All right, the Super Bowl champion, Los Angeles Rams. No first-round pick, no second-round pick because of the 9,000 trades they made. But those trades turned into be Matt Stafford, and who won them the Super Bowl, and Von Miller, who is he still there?
No, he's not.
No, where is he now?
The Bills.
The Bills, baby! Von Miller. All right. So there's not much to talk to. They added a guard, a cornerback, a running back, Kyron Williams, who they already have Cam Akers, and they already have Darrell Williams. So, I don't think he's going to be on the radar unless there's injuries. They added a safety, a cornerback, a defensive end, a safety, and a tackle. But guess what their grade was?
An A.
And they got an A for their first day picks of nobody, and the Lions got an A-. But that first round pick was technically Matt Stafford. So, and they won a Super Bowl.
True.
So, I don't think there's much you want to say about this team, is there?
No.
Do you think they're going to repeat as Super Bowl champs?
I don't think they're going to repeat, but they're definitely going to be in the playoffs.
I think losing Von Miller is going to hurt them more than people realize. How does salary cap work, by the way, where they're the most team that's over the salary cap? They can't re-sign Von Miller, but they make Aaron Donald the highest paid player in the NFL history, and then Cooper Kupp the hiest paid receiver in the NFL history.
I don't fucking know.
How does salary cap exist?
That's...
Flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Flabbergasted. Moving on to the Minnesota Vikings. They take Louis Signe, safety from Georgia. Fucking Georgia had 9 players in the first round. And I believe he was supposed to be a top 20 pick, so it was a steal for them. But what a boring draft coming from fantasy football people. Safety, cornerback, guard, linebacker, cornerback, defensive end, running back, Ty Chandler, 169 overall. He's your 4th guy already.
Yeah.
He's behind Dalvin Cook. He's behind the President of the United States, Alexander Madison. So maybe he's your 3rd. Offensive tackle. Receiver, Jalen Naylor from Michigan State. Michigan State's a good team. I don't know much about them.
Me neither.
But, Jalen Naylor, Michigan State wide receiver, he's a small guy, 5'11", 186 pounds. So, who knows? 4.5, 40-yard dash. It's good speed. It's definitely decent speed. He's in the top 200. He's 191 overall. Who do they have? They have Justin Jefferson. They have Adam Thielen. They have KJ Osborne. So he's already kind of buried.
Yeah.
Does Adam Thielen make this team? I mean, he's getting older.
Yeah.
That's a Jay.
Come on now.
That's a fantasy crush for Jay. He just offended him there.
You did offend me.
Jay is really offended. He's crying.
I'm going to fucking walk up.
He is offended right now. He is crying. Pickles, give him some love. We offended Adam Thielen. And then South Carolina tight end Nick Muse. They've already got Big Irv Smith. They've got the tight end in lock. This is kind of a boring draft so far, but now we're going into another play we can talk about. We're going into the New Orleans Saints. Bro, they got a C+ grade.
Which is shocking.
Because they got a good player, 11th overall.
Yeah.
Chris Olave from Ohio State, one of the Ohio State guys. What is your? Did you do it?
Yeah.
What is your research on Chris Olave?
6 foot. He's fast, smooth, perfect wide receiver too, and which is probably what he's going to be.
Right, because they still have Michael Thomas.
Yeah. So he was comparable to Terry McLaurin.
Well, yeah, I was going to say McLaurin is a dynamic player too. Looking at a little bit more of his advanced stats, he had a 4.39 40-yard dash. That's some speed.
Yeah. He's a shit blocker, but I mean, he's a wide receiver. So
yeah, and how often do they run the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a new coach, but how often do they run the ball? Not much. That speed surprised me with Chris Olave because I didn't really think of him as a speed guy. But 4.39 is pretty damn.
Yeah.
How did they take Jameson Williams ahead of this guy? I just don't get it. I don't get it, Jets. A lot of people slept on Chris Olave, and I think he is, you're right, I think he's the perfect complement to go number 2 with Michael Thomas. Those are 2 Ohio State guys on the outside. I know everyone shits on Jameis Winston, and so do we, but the guy can throw a football.
Yeah.
He was a first overall pick. He's a national champion. When he left Tampa Bay, he went for 30 interceptions. Okay, but he also led the NFL in passing yards. So the guy can throw the football. I'm interested to see how they bring this offense together with Chris Olave, with Michael Thomas, with the running backs, Alvin Kamara, and maybe Mark Ingram. I don't know if he's still there or not. But either way, Adam Troutman, or I guess you can consider their tight end even the quarterback, Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
They could be a better team, and they got a great defense. So I think people are going to. I think people sleep on Chris Olave. Where would you rank him in your rookie wide receivers? You got Williams, you got London, you got the guy the Jets took that I keep shitting on, Garrett Wilson, Sky Moore.
I'd probably say Drake London, Jameson Williams, and then Sky Moore, Olave.
Okay, you're gonna put Sky Moore ahead.
Yeah. It could be either way, or. I would be fine either. But I'd say those are the top 4.
But opportunity. If you're gonna go rookie rankings as a draft receiver, you might have to put Jameson Williams down more, just because he's not playing most of the year.
True.
So if it was players that I would have on my team, it might be the way you said. But if we're talking about fantasy football, I would have to put Sky Moore above him.
Yeah.
I would. Jameson Williams. And Olave I might put up more than people realize too. Got anything else to say about them?
No.
All right, let's move on to a team I think had a really good draft. And that would be the New York Giants. They took Oregon edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeau, who people had going in the top 3 at 5 overall. Then they come back two picks later and take offensive tackle Evan Neal from Alabama, who people had as the number 1 tackle. So they got an edge rusher and an offensive tackle, and they need a lot of people. And that team needs a lot of help, and Daniel Jones needs a lot of help. Now, they come back in the 2nd round, which was surprising to me, and they took wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, what's surprising to me is because they already have a ton of receivers. They took a receiver in the 1st round last year. They signed so they got Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard. They went and got the receiver in the 1st round last year, and then they take one high in the 2nd round. Read me the stats of this guy here, Jay. Tell me about this guy.
5'8", 178 pounds.
And a
4.44.
So this guy is a small, tiny, speedy little fuck.
Yeah. Not that fast, though, compared to...
True.
Like,
Yeah.
Chris Olave was faster.
Yeah, that's true. So this guy is 5'8", man. That's small, dude. That is like Tavon Austin. Where's he now?
The Bills.
Oh, Bills, baby. So that's like Tavon, but Tavon Austin also hasn't been a great wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
He has not been. So I think this was a bad pick.
I agree.
I mean, Kadarius Toney's already better than him. I mean, Sterling Shepard's already your slot guy. What are you done with? Are you done with Kenny Galladay? Are you done with him? Are you done with Kadarius Toney after a year? People, he was sitting out. I don't know, man. It was a weird pick.
I can tell you one thing: this guy ain't lining up on the outside against a 6'+ cornerback.
Here's the only thing that I think he might have some value due to the Giants receivers always being injured. Always being injured. Oh, and they have Darius Slayton, too, who was a second-round pick 3 years ago. They have a wealth of receivers. So he's the kind of guy who could be good because of his speed and because of injuries. But to bring it around, their head coach is now Brian Daboll, former offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. Their GM is Joe Schoen or whatever, former assistant GM of the Buffalo Bills. Could this guy be their Isaiah McKenzie?
Could be. I mean, if you look like he's projected grade, he's a 6.17, which is pretty good.
And it says good.
Yeah, and his next gen stats 81. So I mean, maybe they know something we don't, but
they took him ahead of Sky Moore. He went before Sky Moore.
Bananas,
right? I don't know. It's interesting to see. I have a man crush of somebody on their team. And Saquon Barkley, I'm in that abusive relationship. But they've got edge rusher, tackle, wide receiver, guard, cornerback, a tight end, Daniel Bellinger, a safety, a linebacker, defensive tackle, a guard, a linebacker. All those picks I just said, Jay, were all in the top 182. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of picks in the top 182. They got an A- grade. They got an A for day one. I think they hit it out of the park. A lot of people want to talk about the Jets, and the Jets had a good draft too, but the Giants with the new regime, I said before, we'll leave Saquon Barkley out of it because I know I have an unhealthy obsession with him. But Daniel Jones could be a guy to keep on the back end of your roster. Just listen to all those receivers I just named. He's something, man. There's some players on this team that could make a lot of noise. Right? So let's move on to the next team, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. They got an A draft grade. Now, their first round pick, 13th overall, Jordan Davis. Defensive tackle out of where, surprisingly? Georgia. Wow, man. This guy is an athletic freak. First thing I want to show you, I want you to read his height and weight here.
6'6", 341 pounds. Holy shit.
Wait for it. 6'6", 341. Read me his 40-yard dash.
4.78.
He's under 5 at 6'6", 341. Jordan Davis. That guy is... That's a machine.
You see this guy coming at you.
This guy's something special.
340 pounds running a 4.78. I'm stepping out of the way.
Dude, his vertical jump, 32. This guy is something special. This guy is a total athletic freak. Just because it's an athletic freak doesn't mean you're going to be great in the NFL. We know that. We've seen that. But, to me, I just have a thing for those guys. And it's just if you're so athletic and you're smart, I'm not going to say I know his intelligence and his ability to learn, but, you can teach things to most people. You can't teach athleticism and speed, right? This is the Raiders model. That's what Al Davis used to always say. You can't teach speed. You can't teach speed, right? So, wow, dude, from Georgia, too. So it's he's coming from a great program. This guy could reinvent. This guy could be the next Aaron Donald. Because defensive tackle, I think Aaron Donald won 14th overall. There's a lot and this guy's faster than Aaron Donald. But they also pulled off an insane draft pick or draft trade with their second first round pick and acquired wide receiver AJ Brown, who's a monster.
Yeah.
I love AJ Brown.
Which they need.
Oh, absolutely, because now they've got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Now you got a big freaking monster receiver and a Heisman Trophy winning receiver who's a smaller guy, possession receiver. AJ Brown is 6'1", 226. I mean, he's only 4 years in the league. He's only 24 years old. They got a steal. They went right and made AJ Brown one of the highest receivers in the league, and he deserves it. AJ Brown, who I traded for last year, and it kind of hurt me. But anyway, moving on. They also took a center, and then in the third round, they took Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean, 83rd overall. He sticks out to me because, well, he's from Georgia, shockingly. But he was on the draft board forever. I think he was, supposed to be a top 20 pick, and he was hanging around forever. If we're looking at his next gen stats,
a 90 overall.
Elite.
So,
they say he's an elite athlete. The only problem with him, with Nakobe Dean, he's a linebacker. He is 5'11".
Yeah.
He's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of, the monsters that roam the middle, even Tremaine Edmonds, monster, big dude. I think the Eagles had a killer draft. I think they're a team to fear because, while, Jalen Hurts might not be the best thrower of the football in the world, the guy makes some shit happen.
And 5'11" is kind of small, but Matt Milano's 6 foot, and I would say Matt Milano's our best linebacker.
Alrighty then. You can say that all you want because
I like him more than I like Tremaine Edmonds.
That's fair to say, but did you forget Jason, Jay? Your name's not Jason, just Jay. That the Bills also have Von Miller.
True.
Where's Von Miller?
The Bills.
Oh, baby. We're running out of steam.
But he's kind of all over. He's not your...
No. Rousseau's all over. Von Miller is an outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Always. He doesn't really put his hand in the ground. He's more of an outside linebacker, quite possibly the best pass rusher in the NFL and the best defense in the NFL. I mean, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
That we got Von Miller. We're running out of steam here, Jay.
Prior Von Miller, Matt Milano, everyone would say is...
That's fair. That's fair enough. I like Matt Milano. I like Rousseau. I'm a big Rousseau guy. So, was that a scoff or a meh?
No.
Okay, better.
I'm fine with this. I like him.
It's not the Bills podcast. We're moving on to the San Francisco 49ers. They don't have a lot to talk about. USC edge rusher. They did take running back Tyrion Davis Prince out of LSU. They took SMU wide receiver Danny Gray. Here's the problem. It's fucking San Francisco, and it doesn't matter. For instance, last year they took a running back in the 3rd round, and then a running back in the 6th round. And the running back that was in the 6th round started the whole year and led the team in rushing. So I don't trust him. I don't trust any of them. I don't trust anybody on this team. Anyone in this draft. They took a tackle, a cornerback, a tackle, a defensive tackle, a cornerback, and a 7th round quarterback. So, surprising they got a C grade for the day 1 pick with nobody. But I think that was the Trey Lance trade-off.
Yeah.
B- overall. I don't have anything to say about the running backs and receivers they picked. Did you?
No.
I just don't trust them. I don't give a shit. If it comes to San Francisco running backs, even this year, Elijah Mitchell, I don't care. I don't care.
For all we know, Brock Purdy will be...
he got Purdy mouth.
will be the starting QB.
No, stop it. I like Trey Lance, man. Trey Lance is like skinny Josh Allen. You heard me, folks.
What if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be starting over Trey Lance?
You have a Jimmy Garoppolo crush, don't you?
No, not really.
That was Rico. Rico had a Jimmy Garoppolo crush.
Yeah, Rico loves Jimmy G.
I don't think so. I think he's out of the league. Or not out of the league, I'm sorry. Off the team. Hey, maybe there's someone for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right? There's somebody for Atlanta. Or for this team. The Seattle Seahawks.
The who?
The barren wasteland of the Seattle Seahawks. But there is some players to talk about. 9th overall, they took Charles Cross from Mississippi State, offensive tackle. Again, who fuck knows? Then they took 40th overall edge rusher from Minnesota, Boye Mafe. Who fucking knows? But the next pick, Michigan State running back, Kenneth Walker III. 41st overall. This team has no running back. Rashad Penny is already injured. He's been in the league 4 years and has had a 2-game stretch of playing good. He's a waste. Rashad Penny's a waste. Chris Carson's career could possibly be over with a neck injury. Kenneth Walker, they went up and took Kenneth Walker at 41st overall. Kenneth Walker from Michigan State, it was the second running back taken, and he could have easily been the first. I know Breece Hall was, but this guy had a better career. 5'9", 211. What's that 40-yard dash?
4.38.
Damn, bro.
It's fast.
That's quick. And he's not tiny. He's decent sized. 5'9", 211. I mean, that's pretty standard nowadays. Did you get any out of him? Nothing on him really today? I know.
His next-gen stats are good.
His next-gen stats are fine, but, like, he was very productive for Michigan State. University of Michigan had one loss last year. Well, other than when Georgia stopped them. And that was to Michigan State, and Kenneth Walker III ran all over him. So he needs to be on your radar, Jay. He needs to be on all 15 of you guys listening at home's radar. Kenneth Walker is probably going to be an 8th-round pick, 9th-round pick, even earlier. Keep that in mind because, yes, there's some talent. Yes, there's some excitement, but there's opportunity because Drew Lock is your quarterback. Or worse, Geno Smith.
Yes.
Who would you rather have start?
Some guy off the street.
I would put DK Metcalf at quarterback. They got Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf. They got, the hell's his name? The other receiver there, Tyler. Not the creator. Tyler Lockett they got, too. So it's like Drew Lock, I don't know. Could be okay, I guess. I don't think Drew Lock is as bad as everyone makes him out to be, but I don't think he's good either.
No. They're gonna be running a lot, so I think this running back's probably gonna be, and if he's your number one running back, I mean, so.
I also think Drew Lock reminds me a lot of, he was on the same team of Jay Cutler. He's got a good arm, but he just doesn't seem to give a fuck. And that's what Drew Lock reminds me of. But we'll get more to them later. Now we have my pick to win the NFC this coming year and play the Bills in the Super Bowl of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they got Logan Hall, defensive end. They got Luke Giodeke, offensive guard. But then there he is, Rachaad White, running back from Arizona State. I know he's 91st overall. I don't think you did any research on him.
No, it sounds like your kind of guy, though.
Rachaad White's the kind of guy that you need to keep on your radar because you got Leonard Fournette ahead of him. Okay. Leonard Fournette's been great. But they can sustain too. He's a big dude, 6 foot, 214, 4'4", 840. I mean, he's a big dude. He can catch the ball. Tom Brady likes two running backs. Tom Brady likes to throw the ball. They've got Gio Bernard, who's too old. They've got Keyshawn Vaughn, who they drafted a few years ago, but obviously they're over him. Yeah. Because they just went and took this guy fairly early, round 3, pick 27. I'm not saying draft him. I'm not saying go in, but keep your eye on him because if you see a flash or something in a game, you know how Tom Brady is. And you know how Tom Brady is with his running backs.
Yeah.
He really sustained James White to have a very good career. James White just catches the ball. He never runs the ball. That's why I was so hyped last year on Giovanni Bernard. Because I thought, but he got hurt. He got wrecked. And he had a real sick mustache last year.
He's like 400 years old.
But he's not. You think he is. Rachaad White put on your radar. Did you have any thoughts on him before this?
No.
Yeah, he's one to put on. I mean, they got Washington tight end Cade Otton. Maybe that means Gronk's not coming back, but they also lost. I almost said O.J. Mayo, who is a former basketball player that didn't make it. O.J. Howard, one of the most athletic freak tight ends in the NFL. Where is he now?
Where?
The Buffalo Bills.
Oh, the Bills,
baby! And then they took another. Well, now here's interesting. Yes, they lost O.J. Howard. They took Cade Otton, 106 overall. But then they took Minnesota tight end Ko Kieft, 218 overall. That makes me start thinking about Gronk a little bit. I don't know if he's coming back for sure.
Is he really that effective anymore anyway?
He was awesome last year, dude. Gronk could have easily been the MVP of the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And last year he was great, but then as per usual, he got hurt, which is normal. And we finally made it, bro. We made it to the end of this. This one felt like a drag, but we had a lot of laughs in here. But let's talk about it because I know you did research on him. The Washington Commanders. I think that's the first time I said that out loud.
Yeah.
Really, that's fine. That kind of rolled off the tongue. The Washington Commanders, first round pick, 16th overall. They went and took Penn State wide receiver Jahan Dotson. I made you do some research on him. What you got to say?
5'11", good acceleration, good release. They compared him to a former Buffalo Bills, Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, well, he's a former a lot of people.
Although I think this maybe was kind of a reach. He was projected more of a round 2 guy, so...
I think Jahan Dotson is a bit underrated. And I think he's just kind of an overall guy, 4'4", 40, 5'11", like you said, 180. Whoa, I just touched your leg there. I went to pet my cat and I pet Jay's knee. Your wife's not listening, right?
No, she's
okay,
not.
We're good. What did you make me do, Pickles? Anyway, I think he's actually an underrated pick. Meaning they needed a number 2 wide receiver. They've got Terry McLaurin. You bring him in as your number 2 wide receiver. They also had Curtis Samuel hurt all last year. So they got a pretty good offense with your running back boy there too.
Yeah, fuck you.
And they also, though, have your favorite quarterback in the NFL now.
Who's that?
Carson Wentz.
I mean, he'll only play 2 games, so...
Carson Wentz gets the short end of the stick. He's better than people make him out to be. I don't think he's not a top 10 quarterback or anything. But, I mean, he's replacing Tyler Heineke. He's got to be an upgrade from that. And recently retired Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
So I think Jahan Dotson needs to be on a radar because Terry McLaurin will do well. And Carson Wentz will throw the football. You know, you loved him. You were a Wentz fan for a while.
Not really.
You were a Wentz fan
Let's
for a while.
not go that far.
You were a Wentz fan for a while. But here's the thing. Then they ended up with a defensive tackle from Alabama, then the running back from Alabama, Brian Robinson, which could be scary. They got your boy, Antonio Gibson, or as you like to call him, Antonio Gates. What do you get when you get Alabama running backs?
Big,
meaty boys, man. List this guy's stats off.
6'2", 225.
That is a big, thick boy, which could very well do great for them. Run that guy up the middle. That could make Antonio Gibson's stock go down. 6'2", 225, a 4'5", 340, bro. I mean, I love those big Alabama backs. I mean, Najee Harris, Josh Jacobs, you got a lot to go there. So I think Brian Robinson needs to be on your sleeper list. And that means that everybody at home, he's just kind of forgot about because he was a 98th overall pick. But you had Percy Butler, you had North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell go. He'd go there. Another one that people touted, he was a top 5 quarterback, but I don't know. The quarterbacks here kind of suck. Cole Turner, cornerback Christian Holmes, but look who they took 230 overall. He's switching sports here. They took, who did they take 230 overall?
Chris Paul?
Chris Paul, after the embarrassment of the NBA Finals last year, he decided to switch over to playing guard for the Washington Commanders, and I don't think that's the same Chris Paul because this Chris Paul is 6'4", 323. That's not the same Chris Paul.
And he's under a 40-yard dash.
He is under a 540 rate, but I think our basketball player Chris Paul is 6 foot.
His next gen stats are terrible.
Well, that's why he was a round 7 pick. This Chris Paul. So I don't think he's going to be the Chris Paul. But we finally made it to the end of this, Jay. Talking to these NFC picks. I thought this one would be more exciting, but it wasn't.
No, you lied.
This was a tough list to get through, and like I said, these are our early drafts. We're just our early podcast. We're learning how to do this. We've got more fun things coming up for you guys soon. I promise. We're going to be more into it coming up. Next week, we'll keep it a secret for now, and we'll come back at you. But we definitely want you guys to tune in. Do you have a favorite rookie from here?
From the NFC?
From the NFC.
It's Drake London.
Yeah, it's Drake London. Put him on your team. Put Kenneth Walker on your team, too. Kenneth Walker deserves to be on your team. And I guess super sleeper rookie maybe could do something. Golden Corral, Matt Corral from Carolina, because walking into a team with DJ Moore, with Christian McCaffrey, maybe could make some noise, because you know that Sam Darnold's going to get hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to moving on past these rookies, because this was a lot of work for you.
Yeah, exactly. One of us has to do research for the show.
I just fly by the seat of my pants. Well, Jay, I thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Are you going to be on next week with us?
Yeah, unless I'm fired.
We'll see. In other news, we're looking for a new research assistant for the for the podcast. Well, I'll bring you out with another song for the week, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's song. Maybe next week I'll let Jay pick a song, if you still like music.
Oh, yeah.
You like music still?
Yeah.
But I'm stealing this week for the simple fact that I'm still on a high from the LA Guns concert last week, so I want to pick another LA Guns song. This one's a newer one from 2021, I believe. It's a very emotional power ballady song, but when I saw them play this, Tracy Guns with Ace Von Johnson with their singer Phil Lewis, it stole the show. Phil just sings his heart out, and it's just an amazing song. It's from the album Checkered Past from LA Guns. The song is called Let You Down. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. I'm Chaz Stanley.
I'm Jay Coleman.
And we'll see you next week. Peace.
There's a part of me that you never know. Push it deep inside, got nowhere to go. It's like a song that's too quiet. It's like a slow growing riot, and I'm never gonna change. So stop asking why I'm acting awful strange. Burn you like a lava flow, pain never coming down. Maybe I'm a love strike kind of girl, just might be confused about it. Love me tonight, hate me tomorrow, I'ma let you down. Love me tonight, hate me tomorrow, that's how it goes around. There's so many see. He's like a demon though. That's my pathology that I can't control. And I'm never gonna change. So stop asking why I'm acting awful strange. Burn you like a lava flow, pain never coming down. Maybe I'm a love strike kind of girl, just might be confused about it. You love me tonight, you hate me tomorrow, I'ma let you down. part that hurts, that'll make you go. It's like a slow flowing tide, walk alone, you smile. Love me tonight, you hate me tomorrow, I'ma let you down. Love me tonight, hate me tomorrow, that's how it goes around. Love me tonight, hate me tomorrow, I'ma let you down. Let you down again.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.